Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to be taking a look at Porco Rosso,
You nice.
but through a lens you might not expect.
Okay.
We're going to be looking at it through the Enneagram.
Interesting.
Specifically, we're going to be unpacking this argument that Porco Rosso is a fascinating example of a sexual type 6.
Okay.
So knowing your interest in the deeper workings of the Enneagram,
Yeah.
what immediately jumps out at you when you think about Porco?
Well, it's funny you should mention that.
Okay.
Because when I was looking at the source material for this,
Yeah.
this comparison just really jumped out at me.
Okay.
The thing I find most fascinating is how Porco's choice to become a bounty hunter.
Right.
It isn't just about thrill-seeking, like you might see with other types that are drawn to danger.
Mm-hmm.
For him, it's almost like his bravery stems from this deep-seated need to protect the vulnerable.
Yeah.
Even if it means putting himself in harm's way.
You know, it's not just recklessness.
Right. It's not just like, I'm going to go do this crazy thing.
Yeah. He's got that classic
Okay.
anti-hero thing going on.
Yeah.
But with a strong moral code.
Right.
Like he's going after air pirates.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are essentially bullies.
They are bullies.
Right.
And that speaks to that core fear
Yeah.
of betrayal
Okay.
that drives sexual sixes.
Right.
Think about it. Porco's literally been betrayed by humanity.
He has.
In a way, transformed into this pig-like form.
Yeah.
He's seen the worst of what people are capable of.
Especially in war.
Especially in war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is his bounty hunter life a way of taking control?
Mm-hmm.
You know, creating a world where at least he can enforce some kind of justice.
Right.
He's not exactly working within the system.
No, he's not.
From-
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
Because Porco distrusts institutions,
Right.
which, again,
Yeah.
common for sixes.
Yeah.
He's got his own code.
Yeah.
And he's going to stick to it,
Yeah.
even if it means operating outside the laws.
Yeah.
And that pig transformation, I
Right.
think it's more than just a curse.
Okay.
It's almost like a rebellion against societal norms,
Interesting.
you know? A big screw you
Right.
to a world that's let him down,
It's so defiant.
isn't it?
That imagery.
Yeah,
He's embracing it.
he is.
It's almost like he's weaponizing it.
Right, and it plays into the counterphobic nature of
Yeah.
the sexual six.
Uh-huh.
Instead of shrinking from his fear,
Yeah.
he's leaning into it.
He is.
He's literally become the thing
Yeah.
that society might fear or reject.
But he's not a monster, you know?
No,
Like he's still got that
Grammar.
soft spot,
he does.
especially for characters like Gina and Theo.
That's where it gets even more interesting.
Sorry.
Because sixes, despite their tough exterior,
Okay.
long for connection.
They do.
They need that sense of belonging,
Yeah.
those deep, loyal relationships
Right.
to anchor them.
Okay.
And we see that in how Porco interacts with both Gina and Theo.
Okay, so remind me about Gina and Theo.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen the film.
Sure.
And how do they represent these different facets of what a sexual six needs?
Well, Gina is that longtime friend,
Cool.
the
Yeah.
one constant in his life.
Right.
She represents safety and trust,
Right.
almost like an emotional haven for him.
Okay.
Theo, on the other hand, is this young, energetic mechanic
Right.
who brings this new spark into his life.
Okay.
She represents a challenge
Interesting.
to his cynicism,
Okay.
like a reminder that there's still good in the world.
So even though Porco is this gruff, seemingly self-sufficient guy,
Yeah.
he still needs that connection.
He does,
Yeah, don't
and
they?
that's the paradox of the sexual six.
Yeah.
They want to be independent,
Mm.
in control,
Yeah.
but they also crave that sense of belonging, that
Yeah.
assurance that they won't be betrayed.
It's a tough spot to be in.
It is.
Yeah.
And Porco constantly returning to Gina's cafe,
Yeah.
seeking her company,
Yeah.
even if he doesn't always admit it.
Right.
That speaks volumes to me.
He's drawn to her, but then there's that hesitation too.
There is.
Right.
Yeah,
Like he's afraid to get too close.
exactly. And that push and pull,
Yeah.
the desire for connection, but the fear of vulnerability.
Right.
So typical of
Yeah.
the sexual six.
Yeah.
And you see it play out beautifully in that scene where Porco returns to Gina's cafe.
I remember that scene.
Right. After a particularly harrowing encounter,
Yes.
he's seeking solace,
Yeah.
but he's also holding back,
Right.
almost testing the waters to see if she still accepts him.
He's got that wounded puppy dog look in his eyes.
Yes,
But he's trying to play it cool at the same time.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
does that resonate with any of the
Oh, yeah.
sexual sixes, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That struggle between needing support but being afraid to ask for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It definitely does. I'm thinking back to some of the sixes I know.
That fear of vulnerability is so real.
It is.
It's like they're always bracing themselves for that betrayal.
Right. And that vigilance,
Yeah.
it can be exhausting.
It can.
Which brings us back to Gina.
Okay.
I think her role in Porco's life is crucial.
Yeah.
Because she represents that unwavering acceptance
Yeah.
that sixes desperately need.
They need that.
She's not trying to change him or fix him or judge him.
Right.
She sees him pig and all and loves him anyway.
It's like she provides that safe space
Yes.
for him to just be,
Exactly.
without the masks and pretenses.
Precisely. And for someone like Porco, who's
Yeah.
carrying so much baggage,
Right.
the trauma of war,
Right.
the weight of his past,
Yeah.
that kind of unconditional love
Yeah.
is incredibly healing.
It's like a balm for his soul.
Yes.
Yeah. Helping him reconnect with that part of himself that's been wounded and guarded.
Beautifully put. And then we have Fio,
Right.
who injects this whole other kind of energy into Porco's life.
Yeah. She's so fearless. She's fearless.
Optimistic.
Yes.
And completely unfazed by his gruff exterior or, pig form.
But the pig form. Yeah. And Porco,
Yeah.
despite his initial reluctance,
Yeah.
seems drawn to her spirit.
He does. It's like she cracks open that cynicism
She does.
a little bit and lets a glimmer of hope peek through.
Yes. And that's the beauty of Fio's character.
Yeah?
She challenges Porco to see the world differently,
Yeah, okay.
to believe in the possibility of something better.
Right.
She doesn't shy away from his darkness,
No.
but she also reflects back to him his own strength and goodness.
I'm thinking about that scene where she confronts him
Yes.
about his self-imposed exile,
Right.
calling him out on his fear.
Yes.
It's like she's holding up a mirror,
She is to him.
making him confront his limitations.
That's such a pivotal scene. And it highlights the power
Yeah.
of a healthy 6-3 relationship.
Okay.
Theo's not coddling him
Right.
or enabling his cynicism.
She's pushing him.
She's pushing him to step outside of his comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
to reconnect with his own courage,
Yeah.
and fight for something bigger than himself.
It's interesting because Gina and Fio represent these two different sides
Yes.
of what a healthy 6 needs
Yes.
to grow.
They do.
That unwavering acceptance, but also that loving challenge
Mm-hmm.
to confront those fears,
Yeah.
step into their full potential.
That's a brilliant observation.
Yeah.
It's like they're two sides of the same coin,
Yeah?
providing Porco with the support he needs
Right.
to navigate that complex landscape of his own psyche.
Yeah, so if we were to map Porco's journey throughout the film
Okay.
onto the growth path of a sexual 6,
Mm-hmm.
what would that look like?
Well, at the beginning,
Yeah.
he's very much in that counterphobic stance,
Okay.
projecting strength,
Yeah.
pushing people away,
Right.
hiding behind his cynicism
Yeah.
and that pig persona.
Right.
It's a classic defense mechanism
Yeah.
for a 6 who's been hurt and betrayed. He's trying to control his environment,
Okay.
keep himself safe from further pain.
Right. But as he interacts with Gina and Fio,
Yes,
those defenses start to crumble.
they do.
He begins to let them entrust them.
Yeah,
And in doing so, he starts to heal.
exactly. Their presence, their love, their belief in him,
Yeah.
it all chips away at those walls he's built around himself.
Right.
He starts to remember who he is beneath all that armor,
Yeah.
to reconnect with his own humanity.
I love how Miyazaki visually represents this, too.
Oh, yeah.
With that scene where Porco is flying through a storm,
Yes.
and for a brief moment, the curse lifts,
Yes.
and we see his human face.
Yes.
Again,
Yeah.
it's like a glimpse
It is.
of the man he could be
Right.
if he could just let go of his fear.
That's such a powerful image.
It is.
It speaks to the potential for transformation
Yeah.
that exists within every 6.
Yeah.
They have this incredible capacity for courage and loyalty,
Right.
but it often gets buried under layers of fear and distrust.
So by the end of the film,
Yeah.
do you think Porco fully breaks free from that counterphobic stance?
I think he takes significant steps in that direction.
Right.
He's more open, more vulnerable,
Yeah.
more willing to risk connection and step into his true power.
Okay.
And this is important to remember.
Yeah.
Growth is a journey,
It is.
not a destination.
Yeah.
It's not like he flips a switch and
Okay.
becomes a completely different person.
I appreciate that Miyazaki doesn't give us this simplistic resolution.
Yeah.
It feels more true to life.
It does.
You know.
Absolutely. We're all constantly evolving,
Yeah.
even the most stubborn and cynical among us.
That's right.
Yeah.
So understanding Porco as a sexual 6,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't just give us insight into his character.
Right.
It actually enriches the entire film.
I completely agree.
Right.
It adds depth to the themes of loyalty,
Yeah.
betrayal, and redemption
Right.
that run throughout the story. And it invites us to consider the ways in which our own fears and insecurities
Right.
might be holding us back from living a more fulfilling life.
It's like we're seeing the film with fresh eyes,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
noticing nuances and layers of meaning.
It's almost like having a secret decoder ring
It is.
to unlock the deeper messages embedded within the story.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if applying this Enneagram lens
Right.
to Porco is so illuminating.
Mm-hmm.
Could we extend that to other characters?
Right. I mean, Gina and Theo are complex in their own right.
Yeah, like Gina with her unwavering strength and compassion.
Right.
What type do you think she might be?
Oh, that's a good question.
And Theo with her youthful idealism.
Right.
And that drive to prove herself.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how their types might play into those interactions with Porco.
It does, and that's what's so fascinating about the Enneagram.
Yeah.
It's not just about understanding individual types in isolation,
Right.
but also about seeing how those types interact and influence each other. It's like a complex dance,
I like that.
with each person bringing their own unique steps and rhythms to the floor.
So, zooming out a bit,
Yeah.
does understanding Porco as a sexual six actually change how we view the film as a whole?
I think it goes beyond just an intellectual exercise.
Okay.
It actually provides a deeper understanding of the film's core themes.
Okay.
For example, the theme of redemption,
Yeah.
which is so central to Porco Rosso's story,
Right.
takes on new meaning when we see it through the lens of the sexual six.
How so?
Well, sexual sixes often carry this deep sense of shame and guilt.
Okay.
They feel like they've messed up, let people down, betrayed their own ideals.
Right.
And Porco, with his past trauma and his self-imposed isolation,
Right.
definitely embodies that struggle.
Yeah.
But through his interactions with Gina and Fia,
Yeah.
he starts to believe in the possibility of forgiveness,
Okay.
of second chances.
It's like he's slowly shedding that burden of guilt,
Yeah.
allowing himself to be seen and loved for who he is, flaws and all this.
Exactly. And that journey towards self-acceptance,
Yeah.
towards reclaiming his humanity.
Right.
That's a powerful message that resonates deeply with anyone who's ever wrestled with their own inner demons.
Yeah, and it makes me think about the film's message about war
Right.
and its lasting impact on individuals and society.
Yeah.
Porco's pig transformation
Yeah.
could be seen as a metaphor for the dehumanizing effects of war.
Right.
How it can twist and distort our perceptions of ourselves and the world.
That's a brilliant insight. And it adds another layer of meaning to Porco's decision to become a bounty hunter.
Okay.
He's not just fighting air pirates.
Right.
He's fighting against the forces of chaos and destruction that threaten to consume the world.
It's like he's trying to reclaim some semblance of order and justice
Right.
in a world that's gone mad.
And in a way, isn't that what we're all trying to do?
It does feel like that sometimes.
To make sense of the chaos, to find our place in a world that can often feel overwhelming and unpredictable?
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's the one key takeaway
Well,
you hope our listeners walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the Enneagram isn't just a personality typing system.
Okay.
It's a tool for understanding ourselves and the people around us.
Right.
It's a way to explore the complexities of human behavior,
Yeah.
to develop empathy and compassion, and to appreciate the unique journeys we're all on.
Beautifully said. And in the case of Porco Rosso,
Yeah,
it's a way to see this beloved character in a whole new light,
it is.
to appreciate the depth of his struggles and the beauty of his transformation.
It reminds us that even the most cynical and world-weary among us have the capacity for growth, for healing, for love. And that, I think, is a message worth holding on to.
Couldn't agree more. Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Porco Rosso and the world of the Enneagram.
My pleasure.
It's been a fascinating exploration, and I hope it sparks some new insights and perspectives for you, our listeners.
Yes.
Until next time, keep diving deep.